And welcome to Technology Tap. I'm Professor J. Rod. In this episode, we're going to talk about Security Plus 701. Let's get into it. All right, welcome to Technology Tap. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Professor J. Rod, J-R-O-D, and I'm Professor of Cybersecurity. And I love doing this podcast and also my TikTok because I like to help students pass their Security Plus, Network Plus, and A Plus series of exams. I'm a very big believer of that. In this episode, we are going to talk about the new Security Plus exam that came out. It's been a while. So the new Security 701 was released on November 7th, 2023. According to CompTIA, it is the best version yet. And as you may or may not know, every 3 years, CompTIA updates its exams to incorporate the latest development in technology and security practice. Now, does that mean that if I've been studying for the 601 all this time that I cannot take the 601 exam? Yeah, you still can. They'll run in parallel until June. I think it's the end of June 30th, 2024 is the last day that you can take the 601. So if you have not done so, study and take the 601 now. Or if you're taking a class or if you're taking a boot camp, make sure that you finish by June 30th because then 601 won't be available anymore. Yeah, you could take the 701 with the stuff that you studied, but there may have been stuff that have changed or they've added new stuff and you might not have studied it. So let's take a look. The new CompTIA security exam addresses the latest cybersecurity trends and techniques, covering the most core technical skills in risk assessment and management, incident response, forensics, enterprise networks, hybrid cloud operations, and security controls, ensuring high performance on the job. These skills include assessing the security posture of an enterprise environment and recommend and implement appropriate security solutions, monitoring and securing hybrid environments, including cloud, mobile, Internet of Things, and operational technology. Operating with an awareness of applicable regulations and policies, including principles of governance, risk, and compliance. Identifying, analyzing, and responding to security events and incidents. About 20% of the exam objectives were updated to include current trends, the latest in threat attacks, vulnerabilities, automation, zero trust, risk, IoT, OT, and cloud environments are emphasized, as well as communication, reporting, and teamwork. I always tell my students that computers or IT in general is under the overall umbrella of communications. Hybrid environment, the latest techniques for cybersecurity professionals working in hybrid environments that are located in the cloud and on-premise. Cybersecurity professionals should be familiar with both worlds. So let's take a look at the difference between the 601 and the 701. The 601 is 24% was on attack, threats, and vulnerabilities. 21% was on architecture and design. 25% was on implementation. 16% was on operations and incident response. And 14% was governance, risk, and compliance. Now, the new 701 is 12% general security concepts, 22% threats, vulnerabilities, and mitigation, 18% security architecture, 20% security operations, and 20% security program management and oversight. So in a field like cybersecurity, where job continuity is continually evolving, CompTIA exam domains need to reflect what is happening in the industry. So let's take a look at what each domain is and the description of it and how it applies to IT jobs. The first is general security concepts. Include various types of security controls, fundamental security concepts, the importance of change management processes, and using cryptographic solutions. Understanding cybersecurity terminology and core concepts are essential to cybersecurity work and provides a common language of communication for cybersecurity industry workers. Next is threats, vulnerabilities, and mitigation, which includes threat actors and motivations, threat vectors, attack surfaces, types of vulnerabilities, mitigation, and techniques and indicators of malicious activity. Cybersecurity professionals must be aware of the threat, attacks, and vulnerabilities that may impact their network in order to mitigate them. To prevent data breaches, malicious activity must be identified, analyzed, and mitigation techniques implemented to secure the enterprise. Next, we have security architecture. Includes implications of different architecture models, concepts, and strategies to protect data security, principles to ensure enterprises, and the importance of resilience and recovery in security architecture. Security professionals must be familiar with different types of security architecture because different techniques are needed to secure them, including on-premise, the cloud, and the hybrid networks. Next, we have security operations. Includes security techniques, security learning and monitoring concepts and tools, vulnerability management activities, security implications of proper hardware, software, and data asset management, identity and access management, as well as the importance of automation and orchestration and incident response activity. Security operations includes the important day-to-day work that cybersecurity professionals do, such as monitoring systems, finding vulnerabilities, hardening systems, and incident response. Incident response is a key function of cybersecurity professionals. Skilled employees are needed to implement an effective incident response program. And then last is security program management and oversight. Includes elements of effective security governance, the risk management processes, including third-party risk assessments and management, types and purpose of audits and assessments, security awareness practice, and elements of security compliance. Security professionals are responsible for reporting and communicating the activity, such as security incident information, the types of threats, attacks, and vulnerabilities found, trends they have encountered, etc. Cybersecurity professionals must learn the latest trends of effective security governance, including third-party risk management, concepts to help with security compliance for an organization. Now, again, the same rules apply with this as with any other CompTIA exam. They expire after 3 years. And what are the several ways that you could upgrade it or keep your cybersecurity cert? Well, you could do continuing education. I think it's 60 you need 60 continuing education credits in order to renew your cybersecurity cert. You could always take another exam higher than this, like CYSA Plus is one, Penn Plus is another that's higher than this one that you could take that'll renew it. You could also take the exam again, but if you're gonna have to study for everything again, you might as well just take a different one, right? Why would you take the same one if you already took it, right? And it doesn't matter for two things that don't, well, as far as I know, don't matter. One definitely doesn't matter, which is the score that you have, right? You need to score 750 out of 900. That's what you should be aiming for. Don't aim for 900 out of 900 because I'm telling you, and I've been teaching this for a little bit now, you will fail the exam if you try to get a perfect score on this exam. And getting a perfect score does not mean anything. Does not mean anything. All you need to do is to pass. Right? It's the old joke, right? If 10 lawyers I passed the bar exam, and they put a list of, from highest score to lowest score. What do they call the guy at number 10? They call him a lawyer, right? Because he passed, right? So your job is to pass the exam. Your job is not to get a 900 out of 900, because nobody was going to ask you. Nobody's going to ask you. No one's going to care. Maybe a teacher like me will ask you, hey, what was your score? But when you apply for a job and they say, hey, do you have your Security Plus, sir? And you say yes, they're not going to ask you, what score do you have? Nobody cares. They only care if you pass. I once had a student who passed, I think it was A plus, and wanted me to help them get a higher score. I'm like, I'm not wasting my time on this. You have your A plus. Why am I going to waste my time doing this? I said, I'd rather help a student who doesn't have an A plus than help you get a higher score. Oh, my friend got a higher score. I want to beat that score. All right, you do it on your own. Don't waste my time doing that. So, nobody cares. Nobody cares. And the other thing is, for the most part, nobody cares what version of Security Plus that you have. So you take the 601, right? You may think, oh, the 601, the 701's coming out. The employer might ask for a 701. They're not going to ask. Most of them will not ask. I've never encountered anybody telling me like, oh, I didn't get a job because I got the 501 instead of the 601. I've never heard of that. I mean, the only ones who might, again, if you're teaching it, that's different, right? They might want you to have the latest one. But for the most part, nobody cares. Nobody. As long as you have your Security Plus and it's valid, right? Mine is I took mine in 2016, right? Is it not valid? I mean, mine's still valid. I renewed it twice. So, and then I renewed it, one by taking the Cert Master, 150 questions in 2016. I did in 2016. I renewed it that way. 2016 I got it. 2019 I renewed it that way by the Cert Master. 2022 I renewed it by CEs, because since I presented at conferences, I teach this, I have a syllabus, I have PowerPoints, I was able to renew it that way. And then that was April of 2022. And then October 2022, I renewed it again because I took the CYSA Plus exam. And the years go by quick, right? I did it October 2022. Already next October, not this October, next October, I have to renew it. So I'll probably take Pen Plus and renew all my certs again. So I should have done, well, Cloud Plus is the equivalent of Security Plus, so it doesn't get renewed if you take Cloud Plus. It would only get renewed if you take CYSA. That's the next one up. I mean, if you take Pen Plus, that or CASP, it'll renew it, of course. But like, I want to take Pen Plus and then wait a couple of years and then take CASP Plus. There might be one in the middle between Pen and that one. I'm just hoping that I don't have to take these exams again because they're a lot of work. And this gets to the point of investing in yourself, right? Which is something also that I want to quickly touch on. You have to invest in yourself and be willing to sit in classes and go home and study, and maybe spend a little bit of money on yourself, be it spending your money or taking out a student loan. I mean, I know this, a lot of us are adverse to taking loans, but you have to invest in yourself. And I think IT is one of those, like nursing is one. There's a couple other ones where taking the loan and finishing, that's the key word, finishing will get you a job that will enable you to pay back your student loan, a job that will pay you more than what you previously earned, and be able to pay your student loan. I have a bachelor's in psychology. I have a master's in cyber, and I'm finishing up my doctorate in educational technology. But I through the process, I've taken student loans, and I've seen, because I've been completing, that it has paid off for me professionally. It's a, as long as you finish, right? Like, I did take a year off of my doctorate program because I got an opportunity to do stuff at work that was, one, was going to pay me more, and two, was going to be, more career wise an advantage to me. And so I decided to take a year off, but I'm almost done now. I'm up to my dissertation. I'm finished that. I'm actually in the process of finishing it. I should be finished in a month or so. So you could stop and start and stop and start. I mean, but as long as you finish, right? Because if you're sitting home and you say, I don't want to go to school, it's going to take me 3 years. Guess what? The 3 years are going to pass by anyway, right? The 3 years are going to pass by, right? Either you do the degree or you don't do the degree. The 3 years they're going to pass by. And as you get older, it goes by a lot faster than what you actually think. And those of you who are, a little bit older know what I'm talking about. When you get older, the years go by really, really quick. So, the 3 years are gonna come and go. So it depends on, do you want to do this or not, right? I have students who can't even do 9 weeks. I have students who are taking a free A+ course for 9 weeks, and some of them already dropped out because they can't do the commitment. They can't do 2 hours a week, 2 days a week, 3 hours. They can't. They can't do it. For whatever reason, they can't do it. So, and I know sometimes life gets in the way. People have issues, people have problems. I get that. But you can't sacrifice 9 weeks, 6 hours a week to take and then plus the studying that you have to do. You cannot do that. That means you not only are you not ready for IT, you're not ready for anything, right? I mean, you have to be able to take that time and study. All right, let's see what kind of roles you can get for this. So there's 3 job roles. CompTIA says you can get with this job: security specialist, security administrator, and systems administrator. So let's talk about that. What is a cybersecurity specialist? Cybersecurity specialists must continually adapt to stay ahead of cyber attackers. They must remain up to date on the latest method attackers are using to infiltrate computer systems and IT security. Cybersecurity specialists continually analyze risk and develop strategies to prevent breaches. They rely on teamwork because of the broad scope of security measures that need to be applied to protect the integrity of the network. And again, my students who are listening, see how we say teamwork, collaboration, and cooperation? See, it's there. Other duties include keeping a close watch for the organization's network and making sure there are no security breaches, investigating any violations and running defensive protocols, protecting sensitive information by installing and using software such as a firewall and data encryption programs, documenting security breaches and the extent of the damage caused by the breaches through extensive reports, simulating attacks to look for vulnerabilities in their system before they can be exploited, and write reports based on the simulation results. What are the roles and responsibilities of cybersecurity specialists? Adapt to constant change, continuously educating yourself, work well under pressure, accept that you might be ignored by executives, and they will ignore you because IT does not make money. IT spends money, right? And executives like to look for departments that make money. IT just spends money. Accept failure and blame, even though it's not your fault. It is true. Learn this concept. You know better, right? They're always going to tell you when somebody does something, they're going to say, "Oh, but you knew better." But you know better than them. You know better. You the tech. You know better. So get used to that. Remain calm and not lose your temper. Be able to comfortably explain what went wrong, including the details. Expect that sometimes there will be no ideal solution. And I would add, you got to work on the fly. In general, IT and cybersecurity jobs require humility. The more you work in the field, the more you realize how little you know. These 8 examples are from Tech Republic article that rings true to this day. You must be able to take rejection. You must understand you are part of a larger cybersecurity team, a team that may not put your interests first. Wow, that is true. Brings back a lot of fun memories. But you get paid very well. The average advertised salary, including according to CyberSeek in 2023, for a cybersecurity specialist is $106,265. So there is money to be made in IT, right? But you got to take the good with the bad, right? The good news is you get paid. You make a decent wage, very decent. Bad news is there's a lot of headaches that come with it. You got to remember, for the most part, it's a 9-to-5 job. But when things pop off, you have to be there overnight, early in the morning, on the weekends, right? Just remember that. They may not pay you for that either if your salary. So just know that that's part of it. You cannot be like, oh, something goes down and you're home on the weekends and you say, oh, I don't want to come in because it's the weekend. No, that's not how it works. So you might not have a job come Monday if you do that. So next we have a security administrator. A security administrator is the point person for a cybersecurity team. They are typically responsible for installing, administrating, and troubleshooting an organization's security solutions. They also write up security policies and training documents about security procedures for your colleagues. Security administrators are responsible for the system overall rather than for specific parts. While network and system administrators set up and maintain the system, security administrators take a step back for an overall view of security. Rather than focusing on hardware and software, like their counterparts, they work to defend the system as a whole and keep it secure from threats. As a security administrator, you may have the following responsibilities: defending the system against unauthorized access, modification, and/or destruction, scanning and assessing network for vulnerabilities, monitoring network traffic for unusual activities, configuring and supporting security tools such as firewall, antivirus software, and patch management system, implementing network security policies, application security, access control, and corporate data safeguard, training fellow employees in security awareness and procedures, developing and updating business continuity and disaster recovery protocols. Here are some of the skills needed by a security administrator: knowledge of common protocols such as SSL, HTTPS, DNS, SMTP, and IPsec. Now, if I have to explain what they are to you, you don't belong in security, right? Not saying that you don't belong in IT, but definitely you don't belong in security. A stronger understanding of firewall technologies, packet shaper, load balancer, and proxy server knowledge, intermediate to expert intrusion detection and intrusion prevention system knowledge, deep understanding of IT infrastructure, including protocols, operating systems, and networks. And according to CyberSeek 2023, the average advertised salary for a security administrator is $128,665. All right, last is cybersecurity analyst. A cybersecurity analyst detects cyber threats and then implements changes to protect an organization in the following ways: manages and configures tools to monitor activity on the network, analyze the reports from the tools to identify unusual behavior on the network, proactively identifies network vulnerabilities through penetration testing, vulnerability scanning, and vulnerability assessment reports, plans and recommends changes to increase the security of the network, applies security patches to protect the network. And the role of the cybersecurity analyst varies depending on the company's size. For example, at a small company, information security analyst and intrusion detection may be part of a larger IT role held by one person. So in a smaller company, you're going to be doing more than one job. A medium-sized company may have one full-time information security analyst who handles intrusion detection, firewalls, and antivirus. An enterprise-level analyst may work in a security operations center or SOC on a team that centralizes cybersecurity efforts. A SOC team likely has several tiers of SOC analysts that monitor, detect, contain, and remediate IT threats and report to a SOC manager. So the average salary advertised for information security analysts, according to Cybersecurity in April 2023, is $107,517. Now, a lot of money, right? A lot of money. But if you do this for money, it's not going to work for you, right? I've seen a lot of students who want to make money and they want to go from cybersecurity, from installing flaws, which is, that's a good living too, to right into Security Plus, right? They don't want to take A Plus. They don't want to take Network Plus. They don't want to take, they just want to jump right into Security Plus because they feel like Security Plus is going to make them the most money. But especially if you're taking a boot camp, right? There's things that they're not going to go over. They're not going to go over cabling. They're not going to go over the protocols, right? They're going to talk about DHCP and DNS. If you don't know what that means, they're not going to stop the class to explain the whole thing to you. So my advice to you, if you want to get into IT, if you're listening to this because you want to get into IT, start with A+. That's the best. This stuff scaffolds, right? It leads to other things. So the more you advance, the easier it gets because you already know some of it, right? You take A+, and you take Network Plus, you already know some stuff from A+. That's a Network Plus. You take Security Plus, you already know some stuff that's a Network Plus. So it scaffolds, knowledge. It's less for you to study because you already know some of the concepts. They overlap. I took A+, 4-day boot camp. Then I took Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then I took both exams on Saturday. The following week, I did the same thing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Network Plus. Saturday, I took the exam. This was in 2015. Then I stopped. I couldn't do it anymore. I was going to do Security Plus. I couldn't do it. Then I did Security Plus April of the following year. Teacher was, when I was doing my master's, teacher was offering a class on the weekends, seven Saturdays. I don't know, 3 or 4 hours Saturdays. After the fourth class, I took the exam and passed. Then I didn't take a cert. I renewed in 2019, renewed in 2022. Didn't take a cert since 2016. It's been 6 years. Decided to take the CYSA and the Cloud Plus. I did those. I have those. I don't want to take. I have an employer who pushed me to take the CCNA. I just don't. It just doesn't appeal to me at all. I never want to take that one. The next one I'm shooting for is Pen Plus. I'll get it this year. Might wait maybe to October, November, so that way I can take advantage. And if I wait till November, everything will renew 3 years, so I don't have to wait. 2028 will be when I have to worry about my Security Plus. I think 2031 because I renewed it, CYSA and the Cloud. It renewed my A Network Plus all the way to 2028. And if I take the Pen Plus, it'll renew it another 3 years. So I won't have to worry about that to 2031, the A Plus and the Network Plus, if I take the Pen Plus. But listen, I'm trying to get to retirement before and not letting these expire. That way I don't have to take them again. But listen, this is what I'm here for. My name is Professor J Rod, JROD, and I'm here to help you with the A Plus, Network Plus, and Security Plus. Follow me on TikTok. Again, it's also Professor J Rod. I go there, do 2 minutes. I do one question. I try to do it 3 times a day. I mean, it's extremely hard. Like I said, I'm working on my dissertation. I'm almost done, guys. I mean, I'm done. I just handed in my draft. So I have to do revisions on that. But, it's really hard to do 3 a day. I try to do a bunch in one day and then I schedule them, but it's tough. But I've implemented something, so hopefully it'll make it a lot easier. Follow me on TikTok at Professor J Rod. If I get 1,000 followers, I can go live And then if you have any issues on why you're not passing the exam, maybe we can go over it. I could do a mini lesson or something. I'm here to help. I want as many people as possible to get their A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, all the exams that you want. I'll help you. Just continue following me and continue to support this channel and all my other platforms. So, and I thank you for listening. Next, I don't know what's going to be the next episode, but I do know that CompTIA just announced that, I think last week, that Network Plus is getting a new exam. So let me see if I can find some information about that. Maybe not, maybe it won't be the next episode, but surely as soon as I can find information on Network Plus, I'll send it out to you guys. All right. That's going to be a wrap on today's show. Thank you for everybody listening. Until next time. This has been a production of Little Chacha Productions, art by Sarah, music by Joe Kim. You can reach me at Professor JRod, JROD, at gmail.com. Also on Instagram at Professor JRod, and also on TikTok at Professor JRod.